Are we good?
You're good.
All right, Rundown brought to you by Rocky Boots. The Rundown is presented by Rocky Boots. Quality boots that are comfortable right out of the box. Cost way less than competitive brands. Whatever the outdoors means to you, Rocky has a pair for you. These boots keep your feet cool, comfortable, whether you're working a tough job or hanging out in the backyard. Rocky makes great boots, fair price. Give them a try next time you're hiking, fishing, working, or grilling. Your feet will thank you. Rocky, rugged since 1932. Go to rockyboots.com, enter the code Rundown for 25% off. Next pair of boots, you never know you need boots. It's like 75. It's crazy.
Wow.
Shout out Jimmy Buffett sent me these retro concert shirts.
Sick.
They're sick.
Bought enough money to buy Miami, never meant to last. Never meant to last. Jimmy Buffett song.
Bunch of stuff. I just got in. I'm super noodly.
What year is this?
So let's start with the NFL, which we always do. Steve Cheah. There he is. Hey, buddy.
Steve Cheah is here.
Hey, buddy. Oh,
I mean,
looks like maybe he hoisted the
Maybe
Lombardi
jumped the gun a little
trophy
bit?
a little early. And
is that the worst game of Brady's
Dave,
career?
it was.
Yeah,
It
right?
was.
Yeah. Oh, by a mile.
And it was. So we were here.
I had 75 grand on the Saints.
Wow.
I loved them in those. Once I saw road
yeah,
whites,
the Stormtroopers.
they don't lose in the road
Stormtroopers,
whites. That has
yes.
been the biggest change since I bought. You know, we talk about for college a lot. When something switches, they used to stink on the road. You can't beat them
Yeah,
in
the
their
road
road
whites
whites.
are really nice. Stormtroopers. Also, shout out Drew Brees. That last drive was so fucking funny how Taysom Hill took him all the way down the field. Did you see it?
I went to bed at halftime.
Taysom Hill took him all the way down the field, and then Drew Brees came in on the 5-yard line threw a pass.
Good.
It was awesome.
What-
It was vintage. It was like it was throwback to Peyton. Remember when Peyton and Brock Osweiler
Yes.
was looking for his helmet?
I have something to say. It's a term that the kids use, and I don't particularly like it, but the kids use it. Keep that same energy. Have you guys keep?
I've heard
They
of that.
say, yeah, keep that. I hope all the people who were like, "Oh, this just shows Belichick sucks and his thing's done." I hope they keep that same energy because how many years has Brady been in the league?
$1 billion.
That's the worst loss, most embarrassing game he's had in his entire career. It took 8 games as a Tampa Bay Buck to have his worst game. So keep that. I remember they were writing the obits who won this divorce. Keep that same energy. And I'm a Tom Brady guy, but keep that same energy.
The Bucs. I mean, Stephen Cheah.
He sucks.
They were down.
Final words. We got our ass kicked.
No, he sucks
They
because
were down 28-0. I was like, dude. He's like, what? We're 2 hours away from being first in the NFC East.
Yeah, right.
Or in the NFC.
That's why
I was
he
like,
sucks.
This is my life. Ain't no more games.
You're just discounting the fact that you're down 28-0.
What was the final? Like 38?
38-3.
He finally, when they were down
Shit,
31-0, was like, yeah, it might not be our night.
But and I will say I've watched enough of Brady in his career. He'll not like this, not to this extent. Certainly not at home. He's had real clunkers and they come back and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But so I'm always reluctant with him. But it's a different. And you said it
So
even
now
on
you're
advisors.
jumping ship? Now.
No, I'm saying even on advisors. You asked Tommy at one point, like, well, all these statues are with the Patriots.
Yeah, like every stat that there is, like Tom Brady
Doesn't
bounces
count
back this
anymore,
way,
yeah.
this way, this way. I think it goes the same for the Patriots when you're like,
Correct.
the Patriots don't lose to the Jets. Like, well, it's not the
correct.
same.
It's Cam Newton now.
New era both ways.
So that was the number one story. Stu bounced back. First of all, and we'll
That was
talk
an
about advisors.
incredible performance by
I'm not
Stu.
giving him credit for all these twists. He won one more
Listen,
walk in my
the
mind.
man.
Now, on the Barstool Sports Advisor Show, how about everybody get on their knees and suck my dick?
The man said that he was gonna win 13 units on a play, and he did it.
Can we also talk about Steve Michalik?
The
I mean,
greatest
that was-
clip of all time.
That was the funniest thing
That
I've
clip-
ever watched.
that clip has like
to-
a million plus
to
views.
casually drop in. He killed
I think I
himself.
have 50,000 of them because I watched it all weekend.
Yeah, I watched it a
Oh,
bunch.
died, killed
I
himself,
saw,
shot
like,
himself. Steve Michalik. Let's get Steve Michalik in the show one day.
He's dead. He killed himself. He shot himself.
You left that part out.
No, he shot him. He killed himself because he was on dialysis. His kidneys, I don't mean to laugh, his kidneys broke down because of all the steroids. That he
When
shot
were you
himself.
going to tell us that part? That feels like the first thing.
Kind of buried
I was going to tell you when you asked. and
Kind
you
of buried
did.
the leads.
Great TV. Who cares if I'm 0-9? You know what I do
Dead.
here. I bring the heat.
Killed himself.
Shot himself.
Shot himself.
Your quote to you was just like, "This is the funniest," and I was like, "All right, let's see. Like, how funny could this be?" And then to slide that in, he killed himself.
He's dead. He killed himself. He shot himself.
Just the whole thing, and then like there's little things that Stu says when you like actually, because I watched it so many times. He said he has surreal strength.
I'm surreal strong, even though I look like an idiot.
Which that's not a saying.
And like
and then
totally
he said,
like not joking, not even like
time out.
like
surreal
not even
strength.
speaking exaggerating. Just
That
like
was
extra
as serious a conversation as Stu's had on the show.
Yeah.
He's like,
And
great
then-
man. He
and
and
knew
then
all
the
religions.
knew all religions. All right.
He was a great man.
Let's
Knew
respect
all
him.
religions.
Respect him. Scientologist. And then on top of that, Steve Michalik is a fucking legend. I don't know if you guys saw. I retweeted Trey, who's one of our editors, who's fantastic. He went into like a deep dive in Steve Michalik like message boards.
Oh wow.
Steve Michalik, legend. There's something like he ate monkey brains because he thought it would be better than steroids. He would if you watched Steve Michalik work out, he would claim that you were trying to steal his energy and kick your ass.
That energy. I said we should sell R.I.P. Steve Michalik
Yes.
shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, Steve
Legend.
Michalik is part of the fabric of Barstool.
Dead, killed himself. Shot
He's dead. He killed himself. He shot himself.
Everything on
Imagine
that.
that R.I.P. Steve Michalik
dead.
on the back. He's dead. Shot himself. Killed himself.
He's dead. He killed himself.
He shot himself.
Everything on that show with him. And again, he's a small dose guy. He is this. Stu for me is the ultimate small dose
Short
guy.
bursts, yeah.
But it's just when you pull like a thread and everything. We were so close not to going deeper on Steve Michalik.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What
even
could
like,
have been.
everyone's like, "How do you not ask about the fact his wife lived in his like backyard?" It was a very funny clip. But I mean,
Yeah,
that's Stu.
that was the best part was the way Stu set it up. When you're talking about his wife and like his family,
Oh, there he is.
that's what's up, Frank. That's
One of
when
the
you
new employees
slip in
sauntering in.
that Steve Michalik is no longer alive,
World.
right? Like that's when you slip it in. When you're like, oh yeah, he's no longer with his wife, and
Yeah, he killed
yeah,
himself.
Well, you see,
like
he
that's
knew,
when you're like, yeah, and he's
The
dead.
reason why he's not with his wife is because he
Right.
shot himself.
Right. Not he.
Not
he
that they're
laid that out
divorced.
like the wife was dead.
Right,
He lost the
right.
wife.
and
he did
then,
reverse.
and then a total reverse.
Yeah, put
All
it in,
time
put the
clip.
whole clip in the rundown.
It's
I mean,
the
it's worth
funniest.
it.
I don't know why I said
Flintstone
that.
vitamins do anything?
No, they're just
You pee him out.
gummies.
No, they're a scam.
You pee him out?
You pee him out. You get your nutrients from your food. In reality, it's a total scam. That's
Are you
pharmacy-
saying all vitamins?
all
are scam?
vitamins, legit. No. Listen, I swear to God, I had Steve Michalik, which was Mr. America, Mr. Universe. He was my trainer. Okay. The pharmaceutical companies owned the world, and he said all vitamins are scams.
Your trainer
Every
for
one of
what?
them. What?
Your trainer for
live.
what?
He trained me, bodybuilding and everything.
For what?
You were
a
fucking
bodybuilder?
5'2".
I ran a 7-minute mile for
What does
10
that have to do
miles.
with-
I could do
what
500
world-
push-ups,
what's that
500
bodybuilding?
I was
You're
running.
an
I was-
ant. You're a literal ant.
Yeah, but in other words, I was a tiny ant. I was like Bam Bam. You ever see Bam Bam on Flintstones?
Yeah.
So
he's that
I'm Bam Bam, but in a human form. I really am.
Bam Bam well, no.
Exactly.
Unanimated.
A human
into
Bam Bam.
Human. Into
Right.
human life.
I'm surreal strong, even though I look like an idiot.
Who was the
Yes, sir.
who was the guy who trained you?
Steve
Michalik.
Steve Michalik. He was the first person on Diane Sawyer that took steroids.
All my organs were shutting down one by one, piece by piece.
Stu,
He introduced steroids.
This is my
into
favorite
the-
part
Like
about Stu.
on Diane Sawyer, like he's like, watch me take his
No,
steroid?
He lost his wife and lost his kids, and they did a
Right.
whole
It's
revolve.
getting dark. It got
No, but I'm
dark.
saying he was the first to bring
I love
steroids into the East Coast.
What does that have to do with
74,
losing
5,
your
6,
wife?
7.
What does that have to do with losing your wife?
Well, normally when, I don't know, because when you're on steroids, you don't act properly. You have a rage.
He killed her.
No, he didn't kill her. She's still alive. But she lived in my backyard.
Wait,
and
you said she was dead.
No. He didn't kill her.
Well, when you lost your wife, that
No,
means
no, he lost his wife.
Divorce.
Separated.
Yes.
You gotta say that.
Right,
We're
she was
thinking
banging
Chris
the plumber.
Benoit,
And
not
he was
good.
Like, I'm Mr. America. How could she be banging
the
the
steroids
plumber?
makes your dick not work.
He said no. He said it stayed hard constantly.
The doctor opened me up. He said he saw more blood in a dead person than he saw me being alive.
Nah.
I met Lou Ferrigno.
That-
I
you
met
know what
Arnold
that sounds like?
We got
Schwarzenegger
sidetracked.
That also
through
someone-
Steve Michalik.
someone who says
Jesse
my
Mahal.
dick
Keep
stays
saying-
hard constantly, that's the biggest lie ever.
I don't know if that's true. The guy was big. He benched like 600 pounds.
that
His
to
dick
do-
was like
Steve
this
Mahalik.
big. I saw him in the gym. I used to
Shame
kid-
on me for keep falling for these tricks.
Steve Michalik.
It's not a trick.
Stu
No,
Feiner
just
is
to
a
ask
not
you
a
who
trick.
Steve Mahala is.
he's a
Mahalik. No, Mahalik. Yes.
Michalik.
He's the greatest bodybuilder.
Sounds
ever.
like
Mr.
Mahalik,
America, Mr.
like
Universe.
a Jewish thing, like
1974,
Mahalik.
1975.
Stu Feiner is a time machine.
Thank
he
you.
is just living in like the late 80s, early 90s. Steve
Correct.
Michalik, a legend of the game.
Well
Who doesn't
said.
know Steve Michalik?
Well said, well done.
Everyone knows him. He was
Yes.
on Diane Sawyer. All right, let's get to some
First guy.
games. Let's get to some games.
Not gonna say it.
Steve Michalik. Let's get Steve Michalik in the show one day.
He's dead. He killed himself. He shot himself.
You left that part out.
No, he
left that part
He
out.
killed himself because he was on dialysis. His kidneys, I don't mean to laugh, his kidneys broke down because of all the steroids. That he
When
shot
were you
himself.
going to tell us that part? That feels like the first thing.
Kind of buried.
I was going to tell you when you asked. And
Kind
you
of buried
did.
the leads.
Great TV. Who cares if I'm 0-9? You know what I
Dead.
do here. I bring the heat.
Killed himself.
Shot himself.
Shot himself.
Whew.
So he didn't kill his wife and now he's dead.
Oh,
He
my
had a
God.
second wife, and then they
Steve
didn't
Michalik.
work out, and
Listen.
he killed himself. Shot himself.
Listen, R.I.P. Steve Michalik. Okay?
Thank you.
R.I.P.
Exactly.
All right.
He was a great man.
Let's
Knew
respect
all
him.
religions.
Respect him.
Very
Respect
smart.
him. Knew all
Scientologist.
religions, yeah.
Scientology.
I mean, Stu does that like 3 or 4 times a year where he'll hit a level with his stories
But
that
but
no
so
one
crazy
can reach
that
that level.
it's normal for him.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm telling the Steve Mahalik story.
Well,
he killed himself. He's dead.
had a.
You know?
I mean,
He's lived 10 lifetimes. You know.
it's why he's here. Like, I mean, he's. You nailed it.
He's
Dan.
a source.
He's still
He's the source.
in the late
Yes.
80s.
Yes, he's
Like,
late
he's
80s,
just
early 90s.
somebody
He's a man
who
that
did-
time forgot.
Yes. It's
we have a
incredible.
couple
I
of them
heard
actually.
rumors-
Speaking,
What?
we have a couple of those guys.
Yeah. Yes. We're time
Okay.
traveling at Barstool. It's fantastic. This is the counterbalance when everyone says, "Oh, Dave, you're doing your TikTok shit." Like, dude, we got a guy from fucking 1992 who works here. Okay, relax. We're going every single
we
direction
keep it
in
balanced.
time.
We keep the universe
We
balanced. I heard
literally-
a rumor that the body that's being used for like those little cutouts is Stu Feiner.
Yeah,
No,
well,
it
yeah.
is. Yeah. No, Stu has one picture.
That's why he keeps bringing it in.
Yeah, he
I
has
mean,
one
that
picture. He looked good, and
that's
he just posts
staggering.
it every other day.
You
That is
could.
staggering.
That's probably body by Steve Mahalik.
It's eating monkey brains. Stu was eating monkey brains in 1987.
You could literally recreate the beginning of my favorite documentary ever, King of Kong Fistful of Quarters, when all the 80s like stuff, it's like a time when video games, you could recreate that here.
Yeah.
With like the
Yes.
people we have, like fucking Frank the Tank, and we got fucking Doug's, and we got Stu, and it's like,
Ugh.
we have literal we just haven't advanced.
They're like
we
time
have like an
capsules.
80s room.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Turning one of these rooms into an
Into
80s room
an
and letting
80s
that,
room.
making them work on that. I mean,
80s room.
have the lights
Shit.
and the music and
I
everything
mean,
they have
we-
to work on.
yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, but he did go like 9-1.
Yeah, he did.
He was
And
incredible.
I see Frank the Tank, his Dolphins, big win.
Huge. Dolphins are for real.
There's only one thing to do after a dolphin was like that. Go on! Victory worm!
Well, I love Flores. I keep saying it. I love Flores. I don't like Tua, but I love Flores.
Tua looked awesome.
Yeah. What else was there? Bears dead.
Terrible. Just a
Dan
terrible
said
team.
that the Bears are worse than the Jets. The offense is worse than the Jets.
The
I mean,
offense.
that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's just not true, Dan.
Kevin, at halftime, the leading rusher was a linebacker
I know.
who got it
But
on a
these are
fake
things
punt.
that happen to me like on the regular, like week to week. I have stats like that.
And shout out Bills Mafia. Huge statement win for them. They look like now they're for real. That
Yeah,
was a
Seattle's got
classic.
some big time problems.
Manscaped, best men's below the waist grooming. They're taking over the world and are now available in Europe, Canada, UK, Australia. Third generation lawnmower 3.0 trimmer features cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents, keep your nuts smooth. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can take a longer shave. Have you tried their weed whacker nose and ear hair trimmer yet? You can now keep your nose and ear hair looking as nice as clean shaven pubes. I gotta get those. I don't have either and I need both. Kevin, you laugh, but can we get me one of them? Both these flagship items come inside the Manscaped Performance Package along with other quality products like their authentic boxer briefs. To get 20% off free shipping, use code RUNDOWN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with code RUNDOWN. Your balls will thank you. We're all over the place. So obviously the election, huge news all over the place. And we don't like picking sides, doing politics, doing whatever. I will say, the guy I retweeted, and it wasn't everything I say people go political on, and people go, well, it is political. The guy who said awesome win in Washington with a huge crowd, and then like 2 hours later was like, this is a pandemic problem with Notre Dame celebrating. I don't care what side you're on, that guy's the worst.
I mean, he just, it's like
everybody
completely obtuse.
Yeah, you can either be awesome, or shitty, but you can't be awesome, shitty with the same exact picture. And the other thing, I'll go in my grave. So today, Pfizer, if Pfizer, that's truly today is the first day when like we think the vaccine, that's the greatest timing in the history of time ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you think there's some funny business there?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think, how much do you regret your tweet? Was it just dragged through like all weekend? You're calling it early. Were people just retweeting it?
I don't regret. You get people where I'm actually having fun with it because then, that whole day I was trying to do the reversal.
Right.
So a lot of people saw the first and didn't see the second, like where's the retraction? And then I post it, and then I go down a rabbit hole of then changing the goalpost to Penn National sucks. Like, so it's fun seeing that of like, I did it right here. And again, I said it today on my live stream, the only thing I care about is the stock market. What stocks can I buy? If you tell me, by the way, Penn was up 16% at one point. It's back down to 3. Stock market's going nuts. I'm actually down today because like Shopify and PayPal are viewed as COVID stocks. But I don't really fucking care. I will say I was at Kentucky. That's Trump country. So there was a lot of people coming up to me being like really deep conspiracy theories, deep condolences, and I'm just like, I don't know.
This is talking to the wrong guy. We kind of predicted this last week on Tuesday when we said who's going to win and what's going to happen. We're like Biden, but Trump, like this is. He's never going to say that he does.
I have a question for both of you, and I don't know the answer. I brought this up. The only thing that I 100% agree with Trump on is like just if the AP or CNN declares it, I don't think that means who actually declares
it, right? Like the electoral college.
The different like. Eventually, the math works out that like.
And who's the one who's
the actual entity that's like
done?
Well, I think they actually did it late.
It does feel like the media, and that's what he's saying. The media doesn't mean it.
Yeah, I mean that's how they've always done.
Who's like?
Well, the electoral college then goes and does it.
So they actually,
there's like governing bodies who are, they tell you.
Yeah, because I'll agree with that. Like, it doesn't matter what the media, and Biden's going to be president, but it doesn't matter.
You got to admit, this is pretty big sore loser stuff.
Big, huge.
I mean, this couldn't be, like, to not even admit, and to be like, I won.
When he said, I won this election by a lot.
Yeah, it's like, dude, are you really this big of a loser? Like, sore loser?
The only thing that, and this is people are going to say, I'm a wacko. I have such distrust for both sides. I would want to see it play out, and I have no problem because I don't think.
I think we did see it play out.
Did. But I don't think if it was reversed, like both. I have no grudges against going to the ends of the earth to try to like wiggle it my way.
No, for 4 years we've been hearing how it was a Russian made the election. You know,
so
both sides do
flips.
This.
It's like what?
And I do not like Hillary Clinton, but she did concede publicly.
Don't
and
you think
like
it
Trump
been
is
so
never
much
going to
better
concede.
if Trump conceded and was just like. I hijacked your whole shit for 4 years. Yeah, I lost, but like, I hijacked the whole thing, and I'm out.
There was a part of me that he thought he would do that to go back to like just being an entertainer.
Yeah.
I think he's also like.
You know what I think?
This is crazy?
He's gonna run again in 2024.
Yeah, well, he's gonna threaten it.
Yeah,
but I think
if he can say now, like, I actually, the vaccine should have come under like my rule. I actually cured coronavirus. Let's
the
like
biggest
run it
problem
back.
is there's so much hate and distrust. Like the Trump people, because clearly the media is so biased against them, that it's like they're like, why would we trust anything? That's the vibe.
The problem that is going to happen though is I feel like Trump is going to just milk his base for money and then not actually fight it. Like, isn't he going to just, like, get donations?
Literally anything is possible.
Right. So, I don't know.
Wouldn't you just go write books and make appearances? Do all the things that all ex-presidents do, but do it with his fanatical fan base. And just fuck, who cares about being president? Just go make money.
Throw stones at glass houses, and you just use that word. If I was in his shoes, everything I went through, I would probably be doing the same thing. I'm like, we're going to sue. We're going to do that.
Definitely the same people.
You know, I mean, no kidding, Dave.
Can't lose.
Yeah.
This is me. I control the fucking weather.
Like
I would go through it, but,
This is
but,
a
but I would have.
complete-
It's almost like the shit. I would have such distrust that I'm being fucked. Even though I think it's impossible to fuck it the way he's saying it, but.
It's absolutely impossible.
No, I agree, but I would be so sore because like the COVID thing, that.
You think the COVID was created
No, but
because of?
I think the timing of when they're like, we have the vaccine.
Oh, but you think
That's
that
it.
would have changed the voting?
I think if a vaccine
To
came
that
out with
point?
Trump,
Well, if
'Cause
COVID was off
the other
the
thing
table,
is,
the
this-
economy is killer.
This wasn't even like, if you read the press release, it wasn't even that there's a vaccine.
No, it's the
like
same
they're
shit
in the
as over.
second
Yeah,
trial.
it's the same shit
So
as
it wasn't.
always.
I
It's the
get.
same-
I agree with you. It's the timing is a little suspect, and it probably was to fuck with Trump, but this wasn't like it's all cured.
Wouldn't Pfizer Pharmaceuticals want a guy like Trump for the financial
know. I don't
implications?
understand
I don't
any of
even know if
Well,
that
The only
makes
thing
sense.
I mean,
Unless
that
it's just a personal
Can we
thing,
talk
but-
real quick though about that press conference? Was incredible. That was a scene of
Which
Veep,
one?
At the Four Seasons Landscaping.
I didn't even know
That
what
was
that
a
was.
scene from Veep.
PFT hit me up for T-shirts. He's
That
like,
guy-
I didn't even know what it was.
There was
The
a scene
Four
from
Seasons,
Veep.
the guy saying that Four Seasons is a better name for landscaping than it is
Yes,
a
yes.
hotel chain. That's been our belief for a long time here
Yes.
at Four Seasons Landscaping.
Just incredible. The craziest part is Rudy Giuliani and the Trump people should have just explained why they did it, because I heard that they did it because it's like right off the exit on 95. So they're like, we're coming from New York. We want to just hop off,
and do it.
Just say that. Just
Yeah.
be like, we don't want to be in Pennsylvania for more than a couple minutes here. We're gonna do it here and then we're gonna bounce.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. Like I said, I get what he's doing. I get what
feel
he's
like
doing.
you think Trump won this election.
Yeah,
No,
I
don't.
think
It
so
sounds
too.
like you
No,
I
no,
think
no.
so too.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think at some point, I'm not surprised, but at some point, like, you can't be like, I'm America first, and then just not concede an election and say everything's fraud and like, you don't care about America.
But does that? I mean, yeah, but he
Right.
never has.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
people think he does.
But that is where, right, I agree with you. I've never thought that. But where I would have a hard time, I don't think like the left, both sides don't. Like both sides are, how do we get the presidency? How do we get power? Like if it was reversed, I did an interview forever ago, and I actually believe this still. If Trump was the guy being like, masks inside, I think the opposite would have said the opposite. Like that's how much I think hate there is between each side.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
So that's the only
I just
thing.
know that like every time we've had an election, someone concedes eventually.
100%.
So it's like, will he? Maybe he will. Maybe he'll take his time.
I
I
don't
just
know that
can't
he ever
imagine.
will.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will.
I don't
Well,
think he'll
that's
ever
what-
say, I lost.
I thought it was going to be interesting with this vaccine thing, because that would almost force his hand. If he wants to play that there's a conspiracy, he would have to admit that it's because he lost. Right? He'd have to say, oh, it's convenient a vaccine's been announced
Right, that's
after I
true.
lost.
Right.
But
That
that
is
means
true.
he would have to give in and say
Yeah.
he lost.
Where people sometimes misread what I'm saying, because I do believe this, I think a lot of the things that happen with like voting in person, mail-in votes, COVID, all of that, I think was orchestrated to a degree to defeat him, which I think is fine, because I think he's doing the same. Like, I don't think, I've used the Belichick example. You do whatever you can do to win the election.
We are in this for the long haul. If you don't like Barstool, if you don't like me, it would be a very scary time, because I think what we've illustrated is we're going to do a lot of damage in this campaign.
So now to be like, let's all come together, he has a hard time doing that, and he's a narcissist.
Yeah,
no
but
doubt.
a pandemic like being orchestrated against someone that's conspiracy theory.
Like the mail-in
I
voting,
don't
he could have
mean
just
it
had
was-
his
I
base
don't
mail
mean
in
it
too.
he told
He
everyone
him
not to do the
in,
mail-in.
and then he
it
lost
was
because
like
of it.
developed because of him. But I do feel like Democratic
used
cities
against
where they're more like don't go outside and things. It runs along political lines. So like again, anything you can do to help each other is what they did. I'm not saying COVID was made up, but
He did literally tell people not to vote through mail-in ballots, which turned out to probably not be a great move.
to not vote through mail.
Yeah, he was
right.
like, don't do
When
it,
everyone
don't do
was
it.
like,
Well,
how
'cause
could
he
all
wanted-
these
He
mail-in
wanted all those
votes be
people
from
going in
Biden?
person. It's like, but
right,
that
right,
ended
right.
up
To not
probably
do
not
it
being
for-
the
but
best.
for
But
6
there
months.
is an element of like, obviously, for whatever reason, if it was just you couldn't mail in, it would have seemingly benefited Trump, right? That's the If you just had to
For
show
whatever
up.
reason, liberals do the mail-in more than
Correct. So
Republicans. They don't
both
really know
sides
why,
know
but it
that.
just is that.
So
yeah.
both sides know that. So like the COVID factor of mail-in.
But I think he should have encouraged his base to
Right.
use it rather than
Correct.
try to
But
stop
he knew
it.
that, but he's doing it both ways. And then it's like there's always the element which we've seen forever, which to me I totally don't understand. And I still don't understand if you go to the business level where rallies, demonstrations are okay,
Allowed,
but
yeah.
like 20 people in a restaurant aren't. Like that.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Baker.
No, that makes no sense.
Charlie
It makes
Baker,
no
who
sense.
I love, and he's a Swampscott guy.
It makes no sense.
Shuts down. Like
Mom
he
and
just
pop
came out. He's
spots
like,
and-
you can't go out
It
past 9
makes
p.m.
no sense.
So that's the stuff. It's
And
like,
yeah, people look so stupid doing the like, look at everyone dancing in the streets, and then oh my God, Notre Dame is rushing the field.
Right,
That's
yeah.
so fucking hypocritical.
but I am firmly on Biden. Now he's the president. Support him, whatever side you're on. And you got to heal. Now, I've heard a lot of people being like, oh, it's easy to say now. I'm not one of those people. It's like whoever's the president, however they won, together. And honestly, I didn't vote. Push comes to shove, if I was placing my ballot, I have no idea who I would have voted for because I don't like either side, a lot of what they stand for. Anyhow, that was our election talk. That's probably the end of it. What else we got?
How about Notre Dame?
Huge win.
Wake up the echoes! Wake up the echoes!
Good win.
I missed the game. I was so tired.
The fucking Clemson backup being like, well, one, his dad. Have you guys seen a picture of his dad?
No.
Can you pull up a picture of his dad? He's like a security guard for like Rihanna. He is a house.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You
You
better
talking
be.
like Marcus Stroman's dad type shit? You ever seen him?
No, he's like actually like a house. He needs like
Oh, God.
he looks like
So the defense just stinks?
yeah, I mean it was a weird game because it was also Notre Dame had some there was a turnover. DJ Umagalele though, that guy's unbelievable. He would start on like every team in college football right now. And Clemson
I saw
has
you say you wanted him.
yeah, I want him. I want him bad. Can you find him? What's taking so
Moving on, I guess we'll continue going along. That was the main story of college football.
Just search
And
in
Michigan.
DJ Ugabalea.
Oh my God, Michigan stinks.
So bad. I thought they would bounce back.
Got to get rid of Harbaugh.
Got to get rid of Harbaugh.
Will they, though? They probably won't, right?
Who knows? I want Pat Hill.
I wanted the picture. They kept on showing him. I'll find it.
I want Pat Hill and I want him bad.
How do you search? What's his name? DJ Ugabalea.
Alex Trebek died. Sad. Gaz
He
with
might be.
Gaz with an absolute all-time ridiculous question in my mind to me. He texted me. He's like, do we have to stop blogging? Is this like a Kobe situation? Like, well, Kobe was like in the middle of his life and flew into a mountain. Like,
Alex is
Trebek
dying
was
at a very
sick.
long
Yeah.
time. But I think the reason why that even popped into his head is because he might be like the most universally loved person.
Very
I
much so.
did not see a single,
No.
and why would you? But
Yeah,
not
how
one
can you?
person being like, no, Trebek, like, fuck him because this, that, or that.
He's
he
up-
is
he's up
universally
there
loved.
with
Tom
best
Hanks and
at
those
his
guys.
job
ever,
ever.
100%.
I'm not even a
you
big
know what's
Jeopardy guy,
crazy?
and that's-
See, yeah,
yeah.
but like, I mean, I watched him like almost every day of my life.
How long has that show been on the air?
He was on since '84. It
Jeff
started
Probst,
in like the 60s.
I mean, he's, I guess, in the discussion. Who else would you put in?
Oh,
TJ Lavin.
I feel like I think
excuses.
he's on a level.
People-
Bob Barker was that
Yeah,
dude.
I
He
saw
retired.
people being like, "Oh, Price is Right carried on." Like, it's not even
No.
remotely in the same.
It's still on,
ballpark.
but not even close.
No.
What's crazy is that he was working like fucking yesterday.
So who's
he
gonna
worked
be
up until he died?
Who's gonna take? I think it has to be Ken
It
Jennings.
has to be. If it's not Ken, it's
Is
gonna
that
be.
who they're saying it's going to be?
But he's the
That's
perfect
like,
guy.
That's like the
for it.
fan.
Right.
You know, that's what we want.
You know who would be
But-
good? Dan Patrick would be good. I saw
Yeah.
that thrown
Yeah,
out.
he did the sports one for a little while.
Yeah,
he
he's
had
got
a
like the
sports
right
Jeopardy.
vibe for it.
But I feel like if it's not Ken, the first person is going to be like a sacrificial lamb. Like it's just going to suck whoever the first replacement
Yeah.
is, and then you can replace that guy, and it's a little better. Unless it's Ken Jennings, I think the Jeopardy fan base would like him. But I mean, that is an impossible role to fill.
I was
Impossible.
thinking about it. Imagine like his life when you're going back, and I mean, he's an actor clearly, or whatever he is, and he just shows up for that like audition, and boom, it's like
Your
that's his
life.
life. All right, see you, man.
Do they have any nicknames for you?
No.
No?
The only really nickname they call me is Funny Balls. It's like my fake gambling alias that I fuck around with.
All right, Glenny Balls, get out
See
of
you
here.
later.
Get out of here, Glenny Balls. Glenny Balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For the
crazy.
next 40 years.
Sajak's, it's weird how it works for game shows. I mean, Sajak, I wouldn't put in the same category as Trebek.
but
Because you know what it is?
there.
Because Jeopardy also is like Wheel of Fortune is like this. Like, you can be an idiot and play Wheel of Fortune. There's like this
Jeopardy's
air
got a
of
little,
like
yeah.
intelligence that
I mean,
Trebek
I
did
would have
well.
said Bob Barker was in that category.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think if he didn't retire, like if he's, I mean, it sounds bad, but like if he did die while on the job,
Yeah.
it almost like raises you. to another level. But yeah, he's the greatest to ever do it, no doubt.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Yeah.
And universally liked. Who else?
That's what's crazy. Because like even Bob Barker, some people thought of him as like
Regis?
womanizer type. Regis
was pretty.
but
Regis
he
was
did
good
so
on
many
Who
other
Wants to Be a
things.
Millionaire.
But
he also
think
was
he
known as the
like,
talk show
Regis
guy.
died
He wasn't
too,
just
right?
Yeah. No, I think he is far and away the #1 game show host.
I'm
there's
thinking
other goats,
well-liked people in general.
I think Tom Hanks is pretty regarded as universally loved right now.
Isn't there like a whole QAnon thing though?
Yeah, I guess by people with
Lost
brains.
those people.
Interesting.
Steve
And then I was at. Did we miss anything big, or are we ready for the quick Breeders' Cup recap?
Anything big? No, I don't think so.
So I was at Breeders' Cup with Elio. We do our standard trip there, and this was maybe the most heartbreaking loss we had. So we enter this contest, the Breeders' Cup betting challenge. It's $10,000 to enter. $7,500 goes to the prize pool. So you lose like $2,500 right off the bat into the prize pool. But like they pay out, I think top 10, top 15 spots. First place, if you win the contest, like $400,000. Second place, I think, is $300. Third place is like $250. We've never been close. I've been up there in the beginning and fallen off.
With like Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay, I killed him again. But the people who generally win have algorithms, professional handicappers, professional gamblers, and I was doing well. And we had a girl with us who was first time, beginner's luck, just watching the horses, the parade, picking them. And I was like, all right, beginner's luck. And she probably hit 5 races.
That's crazy.
And I was on it. So I was up. My ticket was up, started to fade. And then Elio and I each hit. It was Monomoy Girl, who is a fucking monster. And we did, I did a $1,500 exactor cold. Monomoy and the 8, who was this gray horse. He did the same thing. The gray, I think, was 18-1. So we won about $50,000 total. And in my contest, I won about, I forget, 20. So it put me at $30,000 with 2 races to go. And right, like the leaderboard was around $100,000. So we were there. And the thing about the contest, if you're gonna enter, you gotta take your shot. You gotta be like, all right, it's the whole point. Because you keep the money you win, it's real money. So I could take it and we'd have 30. Or you go and if you hit, you get the money you win, and then you get the prize pool. So you have to, if you're in the contest, you have to take the shot. For 2 days, Elio didn't hit dick. He hit that one race together, but nothing, not even close.
Listen, not having the greatest day at the office. Actually, backtrack. I am having the greatest day at the office. My partner is carrying me right now, but I got 2 races left.
He wanted Authentic in the Classic for 2 days. Like, Authentic has never lost when it goes to lead. The girl picks the 8, Improbable. Both 4-1. I put $30,000 on the 4, on the 8, excuse me, Authentic. Naturally, the race runs, it goes 9-8. His horse beats my horse, first and second. It was a $250,000 thing. It's as depressed as I've seen it.
But you played it right. That's the thing. We were saying this, we were talking before about this. Like, you can't do one strategy and then flip it at the end and be like, man, I wish I had done the opposite.
His thing was, I sat down, we go out there on Friday, and from Friday, the second we sat down, to the end, I was saying, this is the horse. Like,
see, he
put it all on
but
Authentic.
Then I still think that's...
You can't do it.
You can't do it, but if you want to do it, he had to have made it like a, Dave, I'm never talking to you again unless you put it on this
And he
horse.
didn't do that.
Then you can't do it.
He was like,
because you can pull that card where it's like, this is over,
Yeah.
we're never playing gambling again if you don't bet
No,
this.
he was okay with Authentic.
Right.
I mean, with Improbable, he's like, no, I could see this horse winning. It's a great horse.
It's a line in the sand move. You need to
He
if
had
you make
to
a line
say
in the
that.
sand.
He had to say that. Otherwise,
Would you have?
Yes, if
Yes,
he had said
yes.
all the way, like,
Yeah.
we're never gambling again.
Yes, he liked it, but even in his head, he was so far off. He wasn't. Wasn't winning.
It's frustrating. Like I've been there a million times. It's frustrating, but I think you played it correct.
It's
you
as
have to do it
close
that
as
way.
it's the most I've ever put on a horse by a mile. Like to put $30,000 on one horse to win.
How close was the 8?
Nah.
We were in weird seats, like not weird. It's Keeneland, which I love. If you've never been there, it's literally like Augusta.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They don't have TVs in the boxes, so you have to kind of gauge it. Like when they run by you around the turn, it looked like there was a chance. but he was so wide, our horse. Like, they come out with the things after. Our horse had the best, like, figure of the race because he ran 9 lengths longer than the winner. But the winner was in front, so had his choice, like, the entire way where to go. I thought for a minute there was a chance. When they passed us, I didn't think there was a chance.
Shit.
It was tough because the people who win that contest are professional gamblers, algorithms, and we were right fucking there. We were right fucking there, and it just.
Well, how much would that have meant for Elio? You guys,
well, that was the thing.
You split it,
we split everything.
So you.
And that, by the way, that's the other thing. We each have our cards. So if his, like, we each have our entries.
Yeah.
So if it's his entry, he makes the choice. If it's mine, I do. Right. So he refused to accept that. But he probably would have walked away with another 125 to 130 grand in his pocket. And he's got his kids with it because he brings his family to Keeneland. He's got family. Yeah. They're pointing at me, being like, "You cost us our college education."
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
these little
That's
kids.
awesome.
Yeah.
What do you say back to them?
Your father's a liar. Whose fault was it? Whose fault was it? It was his. Your dad's a liar. He didn't have a winner the whole day. Yeah? No, he couldn't pick his nose.
I can pick my nose.
I literally, there's video of it. It's like he can't pick his nose. He's lying to you. He's like, no, it's your fault. It's your fault.
You cost Daddy a quarter of
He has
$1 million,
a video
Uncle
with his
Dave.
daughter sitting. He's like, they can't go to college now.
I just want to thank everybody in the world today because I could have had a college education paid for. I lost $110,000 in the prefix. Yay!
He's not going to college.
He's gonna have to work at Tony's place. You're a pizza maker. Congratulations!
Yay!
That is a great rivalry. You versus Elio's kids. Wow.
But it is a team. It was fun, and Keeneland's such a great place.
It's incredible.
With the COVID, it was actually perfect because it wasn't that busy, so it was nice. And we sit. You have to be associated with the owners, and there's Bradley Weisborg, shout out, who helped find Authentic and a bunch of these horses, and Saul Kuhlman, his group. They won every Breeders' Cup race. And me and Elio, I've said this before, I am obviously rich compared to the majority of the country. I am a dirt poor schmo versus who we sit. We were sitting with guys who won 4 or 5 Breeders' Cup races. They're $2 to $5 million. It's insane. And me and Elio just sit there with our win tickets trying to
Then they're about to go buy $500,000 million horses
literally
the next
Their
day.
big day is
today, right?
Yeah. The guys are with sold Monomoy Girl, who I would never be able to sell. They had Monomoy Girl since she was a baby. She's a monster horse. I think they bought Monomoy Girl for, I want to say they bought Monomoy Girl for 100 to 200 grand. They sold for $9 million yesterday.
But it's part of your family.
The amount of races and joy, I would have the thing living in my backyard before I could sell it. So,
but Steve Michalik's wife.
Exactly. Horse people take it differently. But it's a fun event. That was fun. And I guess that's
it's a rundown.
Been noodle like a motherfucker, and hopefully Penn stock goes back. 16% it was at.
I saw it when I woke up. I was like, whoa.
I started talking shit, and then it went down to Ross Gerber. I had a whole video made for Ross Gerber.
I told you, mindset is everything. DDTG, never give up, never surrender, never sell your stocks. Why? Because they only go up to the moon.
But whatever, it is what it is. All right.